Welcome back to We Care a Lot. I'm half the podcast, Mel.
And I'm the other half, Sam.
And today we are joined by our very good friend, Linny.
Linny.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Oh my goodness. Maybe we should, we've probably talked about Linny on the podcast.
A few times,
Yeah.
I think, in passing.
In small discussions, but Linny is Logan. It's like going through the breakdown of this.
You're
timeline.
new here, like, Logan's my girlfriend.
Right.
And I'm the
partner.
best friend.
And that's the best friend to my
And
girlfriend.
we have the same birthday.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we probably
Leo
did just talk
season.
about that. Yep, Leos, period.
We love being Leos.
Literally. We won't shut up.
Leos. All right. So Linny is a therapist, and we just thought it'd be kind of fun to kind of like get some, not therapy talk, because this isn't a session, but
Unfortunately, we do not have Linny working for us for free.
no. But like getting
Only
into
Yeah, sometimes you do
sometimes, yeah.
be fair.
But we thought we'd get into like the psychology of fear today from the mind of a therapist.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Giving the spooky vibes too.
Yeah.
And
Just
now
trying to-
Halloween
Yes.
coming
Yeah.
up.
Exactly.
Period.
So what do you guys want to know about fear?
Okay, well, can you tell us like what is your actual
What is fear?
like what is your degree and like stuff like, I don't know
title.
any of that
Okay.
jargon.
Okay, so I went to UCSB for undergrad. I'd studied biopsychology, and I did my MFT degree, which is marriage and family therapy, at Cal Lutheran University. So that was like a 2-year program. And currently I work as a therapist, mainly doing like exposure therapy for people with OCD, anxiety, phobias, all types of fear. So it's kind of up my alley.
Yeah. Period. We knew we called
Fear
the
is
right girl.
everywhere.
Not fear is everywhere.
Kind of.
God.
Okay, so that's helpful for people to know because fear and anxiety go hand in hand, I think. I don't know if I personally find fear in my everyday life, but for sure anxiety.
Anxiety for sure.
Yeah. What do you think like the difference is between the two, or is there a difference really?
It's a good question. I mean, I guess I would think of fear as we have fear because of a threat of harm, right? Whether it's perceived or real,
Yeah.
right? So I think fear can be associated with the unknown, uncertainty, when we don't know something, we don't know how we're going to react to something. Whereas I guess I think of anxiety as more like the physiological reaction to fear.
Got it.
Right?
Okay.
So kind of like your heart racing, your
Yeah.
palms are sweaty.
Mom spaghetti.
Like
Right.
the song.
What's the lyric?
Yeah, like your heart's racing, you can't think straight, right? Your
Yeah.
body is being like flooded with chemicals
Okay.
and kind of throwing you into this survival threat response, right?
Interesting.
That's so interesting.
It's like they're different, but
I think they're very
they
connected.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
connected.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I
'Cause
mean, what do you guys think? Or how do you view it?
I feel like anxiety is its own, obviously, like feeling as opposed to fear.
You're like going back to
Inside Out 2 once again.
Oh,
Did
shit,
you watch it?
I still haven't seen it. I know.
That's so crazy.
I
to me.
know. I know.
Linny.
I know.
You would love it, and
love, like,
also
tonight.
I know. We should
it might
watch
be
it.
like insightful for your job. I don't know. It's just.
From a cartoon.
I'm so serious. I mean, like,
Probably.
who needs college and a degree when you have
True.
Inside Out
Have
too?
Pixar.
True.
But no, I feel like anxiety. That's my like. I don't feel fear as often as I do anxiety, because I'm not usually scared of something when I'm anxious. You know what I mean?
Tell me more.
Well, do you feel like that's true?
And how does that make you feel?
No,
you guys
none of
both
that.
Fucking
No. Let's go back to that. So
Okay.
So you feel anxiety, but like
I
more
don't feel
often.
scared. Yeah.
But do you find fear and being scared as like the same thing? Because I feel like when anxiety
Right.
comes in, you're talking about the fear of, or even like the word worry, I guess, is still fear in a way. Like the fear of the future, the
Fair.
fear of things going wrong, the fear
Yeah.
of whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess it is, I guess,
It
classified
is,
as a fear
yeah.
in a way. But
Like there's something kind of brewing, right?
Right.
Like a reason behind.
Yeah, I guess I just correlate fear so much with like, scary movies and like
True.
actually
Yeah.
horrendous things to be scared about.
Like
Or
what?
like what? Like what am I scared of?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Let's
Oh
go
no,
there.
we're getting into it. What am I scared of in a horror? I mean, all the normal horror things: dying,
Serial
someone murdering me,
killers.
getting
Okay.
kidnapped, all those things. But yeah, I
All
guess
the normal things.
all the normal things that we're all scared of. Those are like
Getting murdered in my sleep.
nothing super peculiar.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. I guess okay, maybe that's not true. I guess fear is just fleeting for me, maybe, is what it is. It's usually very like
Short-lived.
short-lived. Like
Okay.
if I'm in the shower and I hear a noise, a little bit of fear. But then I'm like, I talk myself out of it. I'm like, no, like so and so probably just got home or whatever. And then I'm like, okay, cool.
Whereas other times maybe it's harder to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I like don't feel like I have it as often, but it's just because when I do have it often, maybe it's just like quick. So I'm like, whatever. Like that was
Yeah.
a short-lived moment.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you guys have fear like more
Like
prevalent?
with spiders, that's kind of short-lived.
Spiders. Yeah.
I definitely have a spider phobia.
Snakes.
Snakes, cockroaches,
See, I
all the
have-
bugs.
I do
Fish.
have those
Fish in the
Fish
sea.
in the sea. That is
We've-
one for me.
Seaweed?
We've been in the sea a lot. The seaweed.
The seaweed touching. That's
We
a
literally
sensory
scream.
issue.
We literally
It is, it
scream.
is.
Aw.
That's a good question. Like, do we? I don't know. I mean,
Right?
like I do have those fears, like bugs and whatever. But I wouldn't say that like on a day to day, I'm like
Thinking
I'm
about that
scared of
without it
seeing a bug.
being
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think for me, it's more like the other stuff that we were just talking about, like the fear of I don't know,
Like strength.
like just like how we were talking the other day about making mistakes, just like the fear of something small like that. But it's not even like I'm terrified. I guess like that's where like
Yeah.
the word fear is so,
It's tricky.
because it's like if it's not a jump scare, is that fear? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's how.
That's why-
And
Yeah.
I would argue yes, I think.
Yeah.
That it
Right?
is.
Yeah.
I think that no matter the scale, it's still
On
a
the
fear.
scale, yeah.
Right, it's still there.
Okay, good
But that's
point.
just what I think. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm like, well, what you say is Bible now. So,
So, no, because true.
I'm like, period. Fear and anxiety are the same.
Right.
Just on different parts of the scale. Okay, period. Well, anyway, what about you though? Do you feel like you have fears more prevalently?
Yeah, kind of like what you were saying. I don't know if I'm like scared of being murdered in my sleep or like in my house and stuff. But I have more ones associated with like leaving something plugged in or
Oh,
things
yeah.
like that,
Oh,
like
yeah.
kind of OCD related.
Yeah.
Like, is the house gonna burn down? But again, it's all like changing your reaction to it,
Mm-hmm.
not checking, not going back.
Like
Yeah.
maybe it is up in
Maybe
fucking flames.
it's in flames.
And that
maybe
was what
not.
was meant to be.
I'll know in a couple
Okay.
hours.
Yeah.
No, you triggered something in me right now because like I do have a fear of like when we had to have the ACs on, the like air conditioning on for the dogs. Like I was like, okay, what if like it started an electrical fire and like now these dogs are burning in the house, and then I would just be like, you know what? If it happened to happen,
Yeah, like
what am
what
I
am I
gonna
gonna
do?
do?
Yeah, but that is my one of my daily fears too. Then I guess, yeah.
Especially after watching This Is Us. Have you guys seen it?
I've told
Some
you,
of it.
Yeah, some of it.
Okay. Do you care if I say something that maybe you didn't see yet?
I care a lot.
Oh.
We care a lot.
We care a lot.
She
Alright,
ate.
go ahead.
Okay. She fucking ate. So basically, the dad, or like, okay, maybe I won't. A house fire starts in the show
Okay.
because of a crock pot, I believe, was left plugged in overnight, and then like a towel or a curtain hit the socket, and it started a house fire, whatever. So like, I feel like it almost ignited people's fears for that to
Yeah.
happen to them.
Yeah.
Well, at my 6th grade classroom, it was like a bungalow, and it
Okay.
burnt,
Bungalow. What do you mean?
like
Like
at
the
schools,
bungalows?
I
Like
need
they
a
have
context.
bungalows. No,
No, what is that?
it's like a
Like a pod?
freestanding like
Yeah, I know what you
classroom.
mean. Is that what it's called? A bungalow?
Yeah,
I didn't know
think
that.
so.
But it was like a pod, right? Like it's like a square. It kind of looks like a storage container, but not really.
I mean, it wasn't. It was
That's
much bigger.
It is
Yeah.
How many people could like fit in it?
The whole classroom.
like 30.
Okay.
One teacher.
Okay, we're getting really
Whatever.
anyway, my fucking bungalow class.
Uh-huh.
It burnt down when I was in 6th grade. We were at
With
recess.
you in it?
No, we were at recess or
God.
lunch.
Oh, but
and
you guys
then-
were at school. That's crazy.
Yeah, and we were going back into our classroom, and I remember my friend Gabriel, he opened the door and he was like, "Oh, it's hot," and then he opened it and he goes, "There's a fire."
Okay.
And then so we're all literally going to the field and watching this shit burn to the ground.
You guys are just sitting there like.
No, it was sad. It was like such a traumatic experience. My
backpacks.
stuff was in there. Yep. When they recovered it, it was like ashes and like people's phones got like
Oh my
burnt.
God.
Yeah, no, it was bad. But it was an electrical fire too.
It's a bad day to bring the Nintendo DS
That's
to
what
school.
I thought. I was like, thank God I didn't bring my fucking DS.
How old were you?
You saw the bright side.
I was in 6th grade, so like
Damn.
11. Yeah.
So you didn't go back to that school?
No, they just moved us to like a different part of the school, but,
Different classroom?
But we were like
Damn.
treated so like I think it was very extra of us, but I think it really trauma bonded like all of us
Damn.
that class. Like I feel like
I mean, because it felt like we could have been in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
No, it
you were
was-
so close to having been inside.
like yeah, that I know those people to heart. Like
You said, I get your
I get your
struggles,
struggles,
babe.
babe.
That one time in 6th grade, forever.
no, but we were so tight. Like on a different conversation, we were so tight. Okay, no, it's getting sad though. Like one of our classmates from that class, literally got murdered at his work. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And we all went to his funeral.
What?
Like
Whoa.
that 6th grade class. Like we went to the same high school, but like we didn't really talk anymore. But like all of us, like I'm telling you, we were trauma bonded, and
crazy.
we got
You
together
need to start
for
a group
his
chat.
Yeah,
Like, what the heck?
Damn.
sad.
It doesn't
Anyway,
need to be sad stuff that brings y'all together.
I know.
Start making it some good ones.
I think we did like try to do reunions, but
Yeah, it was too much.
Oh my God.
Oh my god. Okay, well, speaking of like fear.
So fires.
So
Fires
Fires
also-
could be
scary.
one. Mm-hmm.
Now that I think about it, I don't even know if fire is a fear for me.
No. What about like
That's why I
the
want to
dark?
marry a firefighter.
Oh god.
It's a whole nother podcast.
It's a whole other conversation.
whole other episode.
Maybe the next
Whole
episode.
other season.
Continue with your question.
I was gonna say, what about the dark?
Oh, the dark used to be
Like
okay.
being alone.
So as a kid, I had night terrors.
Okay.
You're obviously
Where you
familiar
like
with that.
scream in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I would
and
scream,
run out of
wake
the room.
up, and I would tell people, "Don't touch me, don't touch me. I don't want you to touch
They
me."
were really.
Damn.
When you told me
Scary.
about it, I was like,
It's giving possessed. My brother thought I was possessed. My parents, I don't know if they took me to the doctor or just like called the doctor, and he was like, "Oh, it's night terrors. Don't trip. Like they'll just go away."
fix
And then
it?
there you go. You were
And they just went away. I don't know how long. I think my mom
That's
said like a
wild.
month, maybe.
Okay.
So it wasn't like a super long time, but I remember the feeling of like I was fearing for my life, but for no threat in front of me.
Is it like a dream? Was it like a
It
dream?
was, I think, dreams, but it was just like physiologically, I felt unsafe, and like if someone touched me, it felt like I was gonna like throw up, I guess, or
Yeah.
something. Like it was a very weird, visceral feeling. I'm like, I don't know what was happening to me at that time.
And then you would just come out of it.
And then I guess and I don't even remember like when they stopped or like
That's wild.
what even stopped
Yeah.
them. But I used to have fears of like, okay, this was random. Like the door, you know how sometimes there's a shadow when the door's open? It looks like a shark fin. Because it's a triangle. It's literally not even, it doesn't look like a shark fin really.
I've never had that thought, but now.
Never.
Oh,
I'm
well,
like-
you're welcome.
now it's in my head.
right.
I said shark. But I think that's why I'm so like picky about what I have on before I go to bed. Like if I have a show on or whatever, because when I had night terrors, I was watching Wizards of Waverly Place, and this cat turns into a fucking lion, and I thought the lion was in my room when I woke up. Like that's what I fell
Holy
asleep
shit.
to, and then I woke
Yeah.
up feeling that. And so now I'm just like, if my last thought is a shark, I'm gonna have a bad dream about a shark.
Maybe
so
you
that
will.
was my fear, and maybe I will. And then if I do, whatever. What was I gonna do?
Moral of the story.
Yeah.
Don't therapize me.
Moral of the story is like, and so what? But oh, Lenny, you should have a podcast called "And So What." It's kind of really cute.
So cute.
Okay,
This is my
guys,
first
petition.
episode, so.
You're doing amazing. So I feel like we should have like 10 likes, and she'll do it.
Give some likes.
No, but anyways, yeah, I feel like my fears, especially at night.
Mm-hmm.
The dark is like shadows, seeing things. But I think I have fully therapized myself into just being like, you're making it up in your own head. Like, there's not a person standing over there, Sam. You don't need to like turn on your light to see
Yeah.
that. Just close your fucking eyes.
I think it's acceptance at the end of the day.
Yeah. Like, if there is a man
Like,
in that closet
yeah, what are
right
you gonna
now-
do?
What
Are you gonna
really
like
gonna do?
go to your kitchen?
I mean,
I mean, I'd scream
run.
for
You could-
somebody's
you could
help.
run.
True.
We're like, no, what are you gonna do? It's
Go to
fine.
bed, babe.
Just go to bed, babe.
Just go to bed.
Yeah. The dark is scary, I think, even still.
Yeah.
As an adult.
You get a little more pep in your step when you turn
Yeah.
off the lights
Oh my
somewhere.
God. You know, literally like turn off the lights and run.
Yes.
In the
Like
dark.
at the stairs, you know, you're just like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Running
stairs.
What is it about the dark? Like, I feel like, is it just like
the unknown.
I think it's
unknown
unknown,
Yeah.
right? You can't see. You see a shadow. You try to make out what it is.
That's
For me, I think it's like dark outside if I'm alone.
That's
Like
even
walking to my
scarier.
car.
Yeah,
Oh, that's-
yeah.
And then my
Scary.
keys, I can't do the little click thing where
You're like,
it. Yeah, so it doesn't work.
work,
I have to
yeah.
like manually
the
open
key in
my
me
door.
too.
Yeah,
You just like be looking around like extra.
like if someone's
I'm
following
like,
me,
is that
maybe I'll-
the dark or like fears of being a woman?
I know. It's still a fear.
True.
Still a fear.
a lot of
Still a fear.
fears.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, the dark in my house specifically. Like, I feel like you turn all the lights off in your house or whatever, and you're like, okay, I'm going to bed, and then you like, oh, I want a glass of water, so you go to the kitchen, but in the dark,
In the dark,
it's kind of like, did someone just
you see a
come
reflection in the mirror.
out? Yeah, you're
You're
like,
is that someone?
literally,
Maybe.
So it just
Do you
Literally me every
acceptance
day.
the only answer. Maybe.
I live alone, so I have these thoughts.
so
all
you
the
just say
time.
maybe.
I mean, if
Sometimes
I'm
you'll
really
turn the light
tired
on.
and it's like the middle of the night, then
Yeah.
I'm more in the sleep mode.
Right. You're like, get
But I
through
think if
it.
I'm more awake, then I'm more kind of hyper vigilant.
Do you think that we have like those fears from like exposure to like scary movies and stuff like that, or do you
yeah.
think like those fears just come naturally to
Innate.
people?
I think both.
Both.
I think.
Like,
Yeah.
do some people just have straight up fears or anxieties that derived from a movie? Like, I'd never
that's
thought
a
of
good
this
question.
until I saw that movie or
I
whatever.
think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw it when I was in second grade. My babysitter
Horrible.
brought it over,
Hello.
and I had a very intense fear of clowns after that. Ever
I
since.
bet. Yeah.
I was scared of drains because of that
The
movie.
drains. Yep.
The gutter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I think about that every
hate
time I
him.
walk past a gutter.
Yeah,
I don't have fear, but I'm like,
he could.
a motherfucker
could
be down
in
there. Yeah.
But I do think like we have fear because we know things, right?
Yeah.
We know of stories that have happened or
Yeah,
situations.
yeah.
So it's not the unknown, but it's also the known.
Kinda, yeah.
Like
Some element of exposure to something.
the old wise tales or whatever, folk tales, whatever. What are they called? What are they called? Like,
Sounded right. One of those.
What?
like like the woman who drowned her kids in the river and like don't, you know what I mean?
What are those called?
I don't know.
Folktales. sound
Folktale. I think it's folktale.
Maybe.
Folklore?
Folklore.
Taylor Swift? Oh no. Anyways. Yeah, we're basically exposed to all these fears, but then also if we didn't know, we'd probably still be scared of something because we don't know.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's like, what's in the ocean? I'm scared. We're not
It's
going in
probably
it.
also just like biologically like innate, where in darkness, I'm sure like back in the day when they didn't have like fire, you'd be fucking scared at night. You don't know what the fuck's gonna come at you. It's more of like a survival thing,
Yeah.
maybe too. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cavemen, when
Completely.
fire was invented, they were like, hell yeah.
I mean,
I can see in the dark.
I can see
It
in
is.
the dark.
It is though like the most primitive, like.
That's the word, primitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and our survival mechanism or our threat response is that same response we feel when we're anxious, the same one we had years and years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
During like
so
hunter
true.
gatherer days.
So
where-
fear and anxiety are literally our bodies trying to protect us.
Yeah, you go into
Survive.
this like fight or flight response. Your body releases tons and tons of chemicals to basically like get you prepared and ready to fight or flight or
Yeah.
freeze or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Crazy.
God dang.
So
Really
a
insane.
lot of it is like retraining your reactions and how to react to situations.
Do you feel like watching horror movies or like putting yourself in like experiences like Horror Nights or Not Scary Farm, whatever, is like practicing that maybe?
Yeah.
Like is it serial killer energy to enjoy those things.
It's keep going with that.
Okay.
Tell me more.
Or is it like just us practicing to not be afraid and like getting more information to feel like more like I know all the possibilities, I guess?
I almost feel like, is it kind of like not even, maybe not exposure therapy, but okay, like we like off camera talked about McKinney Manor.
McKinney Manor.
McKinney Manor.
Yeah.
But like how in that documentary, some people who go to him have like extreme like PTSD from other things, and they want to go to this to have that same adrenaline rush or like
It's basically a consensual torture
consensual
mansion.
And I wonder if like that, like on a smaller scale, like is that what we're kind of also doing of like enjoying the fear, like because we've all been scared at some point in our lives, so it's maybe it's like, is that kind of like how we're like
Moving through the fear.
yeah, like consensually enjoying being scared. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good question. So I don't know enough about this specifically to, I think, like speak on it directly, but I will say, like with horror movies, scary movies, Halloween Horror Nights,
Yeah.
all that stuff, I kind of feel like there is an element of control you still have
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
these situations. So if you're sitting down for a movie for 2 hours, you kind of know there's an end point.
Yeah.
And there's some kind of control we have in like watching it. You're getting that same rush and those same
Yeah.
feelings, whether it's a jump scare that you're seeing or I don't know. But
Yeah.
we just saw Midsummer and that was
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
images are still in my head.
bits. Yeah.
But I think still there's a, you know that it's gonna end, and there's a choice with it. You're choosing to kind of put yourself.
Yeah.
In it.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's an interesting aspect, like controlling the fear, I guess. Like I never think of it that way, like when I'm going to one of these things, but that does actually bring me a lot of security when I watch like a scary movie, like, oh, that'll never happen. Or like, if that does happen, then I'll know exactly what to do because I've seen so many scary movies
True.
or listened to so much true crime about it.
It's the why would you go upstairs or why do you open the door?
I think I'm smarter than the
I'm
people
smarter
in this
than these
movie.
bitches. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and
true.
and also like horror nights.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, like I just know you're not supposed to run. Like once you run, they want you.
They chase
Yeah.
you.
Like don't give
I'm
them
like,
a
just
reaction.
laugh a little bit.
Yeah.
They chased me.
Oh, they chased you there.
With the chainsaw? I only went one time.
Oh my god. Do you like horror nights or scary movies?
I liked it. I do, but I don't always like choose to watch them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
more recently I'm
You've
more
been into
willing.
it.
I am,
Spooky season. That's why you're leaning in.
but I think it like the back to just having a choice about it. Like
Yeah.
at least in the therapy I do, it's a lot about whether the client is willing to face a particular fear, whether it's a spider phobia they have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at pictures or videos and kind of what their level
Yeah.
of tolerance is.
That's so interesting. I don't want to put my mom on blast, but I'm gonna put her on blast. She has a fear of snakes.
My mom too. My mom too.
Okay,
reptiles.
weird.
Honestly,
Kind
me
of
too,
general.
kind of though. Like, anytime we're on a
Also, me,
hike-
like, fuck those guys.
I don't love them.
I don't know. I would never personally want to touch one.
My brother owns 2. He still owns 3.
Logan used to have one.
Yeah.
I bet our friend.
It's our friend.
Hi. But so she has a fear of snakes and literally doesn't even want to hear us talk about them.
Oh, wow.
Because she's visualizing them, I think.
Whoa.
Like we literally my sister was talking about snakes. She just moved somewhere that's very like rural and there's lots of snakes. And she was talking about it and my mom was like, "Okay, stop. Please stop talking about it. Like stop." And we were like, "Okay, like
Wow.
damn." So it's like almost she's unwilling to be exposed.
Yeah.
Because the fear. But I'm also like not diminishing, but I'm like, but does my mom lean in because we know she's scared and we tease her? So she's kind of like just shutting it down before.
Before it gets to a certain point.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or it's just extreme avoidance, like, right?
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
talk about it, don't mention it, don't think about it.
Because it really
Which
doesn't.
is not going to make you think about it less.
Yeah,
If
that's
anything,
true.
it'll probably make you think about it more.
But also in her life, she does not cross snakes. So like it's
Perfect.
an easier one to, you know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, well, how often am I seeing snakes? Never. So whatever.
Just throw on a horror movie about snakes.
No,
Oh
she
my god,
doesn't
the one
even-
on the plane?
Oh, snakes on a plane. No, she doesn't like the Harry Potter scene where the snake slithers and then opens its mouth at the end.
She hates like the Indiana Jones ride where like
Oh
you
my
know, you
god, I
pass
haven't
this
even
snake
thought
and
of
it
it.
goes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably. It's just
that
weird.
snake is big.
It's a big snake.
Yeah.
Things are scary. Okay. Even rides at like Disneyland. Like even though it's not like a fear like Horror Nights where they're intentionally scaring you, rides are scary. Like the
Yeah.
anxiety you feel before getting on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
For me, it used to be way
Yeah.
worse. Now it's not really bad at all. But like, oh my god, eats you up. You're
But there's
like,
kind of that rush.
yeah, the
feeling,
rush,
right?
And then you do it and you feel kind of accomplished.
Right.
You're like, I conquered that.
Which couldn't you also say that with watching a horror movie? Like,
Yeah.
Like I
Through
conquered that. Yeah.
That's true.
No way.
Especially like physically. Like the reactions you have during something like that, you actually did like move through something.
And that's what I'm saying. Going back to like the consensual like
Torture.
torture. Like,
Here we are.
like I feel like
Nice.
I think that's kind of why people do it too. Is like you conquer something. You
Right.
like you went ahead and put yourself back into the fear mindset, and you overcame the
Yeah.
fear.
It's like practicing overcoming a fear because it's not
Yeah.
like, especially these people who do McKinney Manor, it's not like you leave and then you're like, cool.
I'm
Like
good.
all my fears are gone now and like I can move on with life. But I'm sure there is that like hint of control now. Like I know I can move through something really scary like that.
Yeah. Also, like, it's so crazy how, like, yeah, somebody who could, not even just, like, the manor situation, but just,
Yeah.
like, goes through anything very, like, scary, like, being kidnapped or whatever.
Yeah.
It's crazy how, like, the responses could be either, like, extremely fearful of life after that, or it's, like, on the opposite end of, like, I went through that and I literally can do anything now and I'm not scared. Like, it's crazy. What is there, like, a reason for that? Like,
like why people develop PTSD versus like post-traumatic
growth, I guess? Yeah.
I would say it might go back to
Like something developmental.
maybe developmental, maybe also like support system, like how much support do you have during a situation like that. But I do think maybe like resilience plays into it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. The resilience
Like different
piece.
I think it's just so many factors. I don't think it's one
This
solid
is making
solid
me
thing.
think. So then, does everyone have a different threshold for fear?
resilience? Yeah,
Or yeah,
me-
like
yeah.
for you know what I mean. Like if someone was to come up with a gun against each of our heads at different times, we would have completely different responses.
probably.
Probably.
That's wild.
That's
I've
crazy.
never
Wait.
thought about that until now either.
That's crazy though. We all have different thresholds for fear. Like
Yeah,
and-
like would we freeze? Would we hit them? Would we?
yeah, and we don't even know.
But also,
we
like,
literally
the
don't.
post situation, like, we
Right.
would
Yeah.
all have different.
Like, oh,
versions
it
of
was
that.
just like, and also situational, of course. You know, like what's going on in
Yeah.
this situation. But
And
like,
maybe also, sorry to interrupt,
No, you're good.
but maybe like complex trauma plays into it. So if you've had significant trauma in your history
Yeah.
and like several events, maybe you're more likely to develop PTSD versus come out of
yeah.
it.
like first time you've ever encountered something. So
But I actually don't know. That's a good topic.
something to look into.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you like research further? So like you get a client and like, I don't know, do you like dig deeper on certain topics? Like, oh, I want to know more. Like there's not really like history on that or like a study. Like, do you like have that kind of research side to you in your job or not really? You're like, I want to focus on like just this person.
How so?
I just think about like freaking scientists when they like come across like a weird anomaly and they're like, I want to not cure because
Yeah.
in this case you're not doing curing, but like
I think if there's something I don't know, I
Yeah.
would definitely look for
Like, to
ideas,
see what's going on, yeah.
or even like exposure ideas of how I can expose someone to a specific fear.
Yeah, because it seems like the treatment, it's not it's like it's kind of like all the same where like the treatment is exposure, right?
Right,
But it's just like
right.
different versions of whatever the fear or the phobia or the
Whatever the person's experiencing, whatever the intrusive thoughts are.
yeah.
and how to like safely
Do
it.
Safely expose them again, like with their willingness, how far they're
Yeah.
willing to go.
do all your clients come to you, or are some of it like the parents, let's say if it's a kid, like you need to do this and they're unwilling, or does it not even work because they're unwilling?
That's a good question.
So like if you're saying if they're unwilling, how can we move forward?
Yeah,
It's very hard.
yeah.
Like, very hard.
It's
I can
like-
give them psychoeducation. We can do some cognitive behavioral therapy, right? Reframing thoughts. Go into a little bit of the mindfulness portion. You
Yeah.
really aren't doing the exposure till
It's just
the very
like
end.
kind of informative.
Yeah,
sort
so
of.
it's kind of like broken up into 3 parts. So we look at their thoughts first, and can we reframe any of their thoughts, or like look at things not catastrophizing them as much, or can we see the gray instead of just all or nothing?
Yeah.
And then we'll go into the mindfulness portion. So that's a lot of like observing our thoughts as they come in. And an intrusive thought is something that you don't want to happen. It's ego dystonic, goes against your values, which is why when we have a thought like that, it's so troubling and distressing. So some of what I teach is allowing that thought to just exist and do nothing with it,
Interesting.
versus thinking, oh my God, what if that happens? What do I need to do? Do I need to get rid of it? Don't think about it, right? Because anytime you try to not think about a thought, you're probably going to be thinking about it more.
Oh my gosh.
So it's allowing intrusive thoughts, images, things to exist
Yeah.
and go on with your life
giving them-
anyways.
Giving them no like relevance or
Yeah, not
Leave.
over attending to them,
Yeah.
not overvaluing them, letting them be.
I'm kind of like, maybe I eat when it comes to intrusive thoughts because I feel like I do that.
I know,
Therapy.
Sam's like, are you practicing all this?
I was like, oh, I feel like I do that. Right? Like
You with your
Like
night
a
terrors?
shark
My night
at
terror
the
set me up
door.
for this. Yeah, the lore is deep on this. I think I set myself up with the night terrors to
You did. No, you
like
did.
really move
To tread
through it.
forward.
Who the hell knows? But that's interesting. I feel like intrusive thoughts, I never realized why we consider them intrusive, and it's because it goes against our ego and our belief system. Like that's
Yeah, our values. Like, we don't want them to happen, but they're
Yeah.
still there.
So when someone has like when someone says something, how do I say this? Like when someone says like I had an intrusive thought, and then it's like something about them like accidentally hurting themselves. Is that still technically an intrusive thought? Because it's not like attached to value, like a value system.
I would say, do they want to hurt themselves or not want to?
They don't want to.
So that's probably why it's intrusive, right? They
But
don't
like an
want
accidental hurting, like
Same thing.
falling.
like stub a toe.
Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Like I just had an intrusive thought that I fell down the stairs. Like I have that thought. You know what I mean? Is that still an intrusive thought?
Yeah.
But is it attached to a value that I have? Like what is my value there?
You don't want to fall?
Like
I'm assuming.
clumsiness, or I don't know.
I guess it doesn't have to be deep.
Maybe
Yeah.
yeah. It's like something you don't want to happen.
Yeah. Okay. I get
Right.
it. Okay.
Or like weakness, even as simple as like I don't want to be weak or like have to feel weak or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
Girl,
Or I don't want to be dead.
Yeah, you don't want to die. It's fair.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay hospital bills.
Oh my
What
God,
if I accidentally hit someone on the freeway or
Yeah.
while I'm driving or
Someone was on the freeway on the side of the road walking on my way here, whatever.
happens a lot these days.
And they're like flailing their arms, not like I'm like they're asking for help. No, it was like a slow flail, like it was like a kind of like they're vibing like that, and I was like,
Okay,
"King,
dancing.
you're literally dancing on the freeway. Can you please?"
Yeah.
And then I started watching him to make sure no one hit him, as if the 3 seconds I could see him on the freeway is going to really do anything. And I started going in the other lane, and I was like, I'm about to kill myself. Like,
Yeah.
focus on the thing you can actually control. Anyways, wasn't intrusive, but I could have, in that moment, had a thought.
Yeah.
True.
For sure.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Intrusive thoughts. 101.
101.
I was just thinking about intrusive thoughts, and it was freaking me out still.
Wait, what part?
About intrusive thoughts. Just the ego part. Like, it's just...
Yeah, the ego part's like kind of confusing to me.
Like
Not-
the values?
Yeah, the value system of it all. But I guess, like we said, it doesn't have to be deep. It just has to be like something you don't want.
Yeah, something you don't
Yeah.
want. Literally, I don't want to murder somebody. I don't want to
But
wreck
what if
my
you
car.
do? Right. So what
Yeah.
if I murder someone? That could be intrusive. It's just, but you're treating it as a thought
Right.
versus, because I had that thought, now I want to go do it.
I
No.
see. Okay, so
Right?
like in the way of like a murderer is like, I want to murder somebody. That is a thought, not an intrusive thought, because they want to and they plan on doing it.
I hope they don't, but
For sure.
Okay, of course.
right.
Okay, maybe we should not do murder and we should do
Something less scary.
slap. I want to slap somebody.
Right.
In the knee.
Okay.
Just make it less and less
safe.
intense. But anyway.
But I'm speaking from like a very like OCD perspective.
Yeah.
So
That's fair. That's interesting that in psychology there's like different, what do you call it? Like focuses that could perceive the exact same like concept entirely different.
true. That's true.
Or is it entirely different?
I mean, well, if you're thinking about like more general anxiety, right? What if I fail this test? What if I never get married? Things like that.
Thank you.
More,
I'm triggered.
things that are more like general focus.
Yeah.
Right? That is still a thought. Right? So in a way, it is a similar treatment because you're accepting that thought is there. You don't have to do anything with it.
Yeah.
You know, what are you going to do? Obsess over it? Or just leave it alone?
So like the lenses aren't all that different.
Probably not.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. Because then I'm like, it just feels like the brain's so different for everyone then. Like, if you have OCD, then you should only go speak to someone who specializes in OCD because that's exactly how your brain works. And then if you have anxiety, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's not the case. It's just like your brain focuses on that thing.
I mean, if you have OCD, you should probably
for
see
sure.
an OCD specialist.
For sure.
And not go to talk therapy. But
Why is that?
because talk therapy can actually like keep exacerbating the symptoms.
spiral.
If we're just talking about it, or someone's coming in.
I never thought about that.
Because one of the big compulsions is reassurance seeking. So if a client is coming into their therapist and trying to get reassurance and getting reassurance from their therapist, it's really just making the OCD worse.
As a therapist,
Wow.
I mean, it would be their job to recommend and refer to an OCD specialist, I would hope. But
Yeah. I mean,
they would know.
Well, would they? Like
you can hide your OCD.
Can you hide your OCD?
Just under the radar enough that a therapist wouldn't know.
Girl.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay. Anyways, we're done with intrusive thoughts because it's doing too much.
Doing intrusive thoughts.
Okay, so there was a study recently that was released. A psychologist apparently released it. I don't know. I saw it on a meme page, so I don't have much weight in this study. But basically, it was a red flag for people who watched true crime to relax / I think before bed specifically, and I don't think it's in general, but just before bed, but that it was, I guess, like a signal that crime or whatever is happening in this story, like murder, scary things, is comforting to you. And I think that does track based on my night terror thing of like, I'm careful about what I watch before bed now.
Before bed.
Because I know I'll have those thoughts, and if it's true crime, I'm going to be
It's
thinking about getting
probably
murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're watching it before bed, it will probably be in your head. I mean, even if I'm on social media right before bed, usually I'll see something and it'll be in my dream or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah.
Red flag, though.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
I don't know,
I do
you know?
watch serial killer documentaries.
All the time. And, like, I'll watch it before bed, like, in maybe, like, 30 minutes. Like, episode over, now go to bed. Like, go get ready for bed, whatever. But I think it's interesting that the psychologist is saying that you find it, like, comfortable. Like, to be in that. And I don't know if it's just, like, because my whole family loves true crime. But, like, I don't know if it's just that we find comfort, for me anyway, as a woman, to like know what's out there, kind of, and not all
like
the stories.
You're exposing yourself to the realities of the world.
It's not comforting because I've been through any of these things necessarily, but just like maybe we are also a little, what's the word? Like we're too exposed, we're overexposed, we're desensitized to crime, and like it's just not real anyways. Like
there
to us,
like
like it feels the
a
distance.
level of detachment from it. Maybe? Yeah. I think it could also, you could view it from more of like a curiosity standpoint of, again, it's like this safe sort of environment that you're watching it in, and humans are so curious, even about like evil and these like very dark
Yeah.
aspects or factors of people, so it could be partially that wanting
That's
to
true.
know more. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's how I see it. I see it as like a safe environment to like expose myself to like horrific things.
Yeah.
Whether it's like a true crime or it's like a documentary about cults, I feel like I don't actually have these fears that like I'm going to be put into a cult or kidnapped is kinda scary,
Maybe
but-
it's on there, yeah.
But like I think watching those things, I think part of it is like, yeah, I'll know what to do, or even just like, where is this happening?
Yeah.
Or how did other people
Get in
join
this, yeah.
Yes.
this
Yeah,
cult? I think
exactly.
that part for me is so fascinating.
Yeah.
Because you
Psychology of that.
never think, oh, I'm going to end up in this cult.
Right.
And then you have several very smart people that do end up.
It's just like literally from what I've taken from all these documentaries is like you're just vulnerable for whatever reason it is, like because your support system's lacking or you're going through something, you're just grasping for some sort of connection,
Right.
and that's how you get
Sucked
wrapped up.
in, yeah. That's so true.
So watch the documentary to prepare
So I
to
think-
not be in a cult.
Therapist's advice, you heard it here. Go ahead and watch
yourself.
it. It's
Yeah.
not a red flag. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Unless you have a
Yeah.
spooky story to share.
I don't.
I did not.
Do
Maybe
you
like
guys
an OCD one.
like horror movies?
Love.
Love horror movies.
Okay.
Love.
What do you love about it? Or about them?
I think it is the feeling
Yeah.
when I'm watching them. Like
Like a
a
rush?
controlled sense of like fear, because I know I'm not actually nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also the psychology too of sometimes the story is like very psychologically thrilling. Like
Yeah.
why are these, like what motivates these people or like creatures, whatever it is.
sure.
And I'm like, it's like fascinating.
Yeah.
So learning about psychology, I think, in my
Yeah.
own weird, fucked up probably
way.
way.
Yeah.
And the feeling. It's
Yeah.
fun. The rush.
The rush is so fun for me. Yeah. I think it's partly like storytelling. I think also on like a non-psychological, like the no psychology involved.
Yeah.
I think horror films have like a very specific like way that they're made, and like
Oh, like the cinematography.
the cinematography is just like very specific, and I really enjoy that about it.
Yeah. The music.
Yeah.
Is it the anticipation before certain scenes or?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, like, I'm like bringing it all the way back to girlhood always, but like sitting in a theater with your besties and being like,
True.
like,
Yeah.
oh my god, is it? Ah! Then you scream together, or
Covering your,
whatever.
Covering your eyes.
but
Yeah.
like still trying to see. Also, what
And it
is
was,
that
like,
about? I
We're
said,
like still trying to
literally
see.
like
Yeah.
seeing through cracks of your hands.
What
You're
is
Like
that?
I can see a little bit.
It's the
but not
control
everything.
factor.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
I could cover my
I'm
eyes if I need.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Or run out of the theater.
It's comforting. It's comforting to know I could close my eyes.
Yeah.
Why don't
You
we
have
just close
control.
them? Why do we have to have the hand
Because it's
there?
more fun, I think. It's like
It's more drama.
It's silly.
Yeah.
But you said you kind of like scary movies.
I do.
So what do you kind of like and not love?
What aspect?
Yeah, like for you.
I like the anticipatory feeling of like being scared, I think.
Yeah.
I don't love the blood
Goriness.
as much
Yeah.
because I think that some of those images just stick in my head too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like like being at the edge of your seat,
Yeah.
not knowing what's gonna happen.
I love
the
not
jump
knowing.
The
scares.
unknowingness is so fun.
The what jump
It's like
scares?
jump scares.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the jump scares in like
They freak me out.
Hereditary.
What's so
you guys
insane.
are
Because
Yeah,
those are
yeah.
very. Oh, you haven't. Okay, then I won't say anything.
Don't tell me.
We have to watch it.
You actually really. Yeah.
It might be one of your favorite scary movies.
I think so.
Okay.
What is
Anyway.
your favorite scary movie right now? It could be like thriller.
I
too,
like The
guess.
Shining,
Oh,
but I haven't
Shining's
seen it
so
in a
good.
long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shining's a good one.
I know
OG.
I know you don't like gore.
Let's
But
hear it.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, is a literal classic.
I don't think I've seen
and
that.
it's so good. That I think that was my first scary movie ever in my life.
Damn.
Oh my God.
And I was a child, and it literally shook me to my core.
Well, I bet.
That was it for me.
I think
Yeah.
it was also
It
mine.
was also
Yeah.
it came after,
yeah.
but
I'm like the original.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
the
original.
original.
The new
Girl,
one.
the new one just came out. What do you think of my first
whatever.
scary movie?
It was my first scary movie.
My first scary movie was 4 years ago, and I'm obsessed.
But yeah, no, that I remember I went home.
You saw it in theaters?
No, I saw it
Oh.
at my cousin's house. Like we were all little.
A classic.
She put it on for us, and it was like all these little kids watching the scary
No.
movie with her.
Okay,
What is the
cousin,
world
what do
come
we
to?
do?
No,
That's
but I love
horrible.
her. Like it was a good movie. Anyway, but I went home
dead.
and I used to sleep with my mom because I didn't have night terrors, but I had like really bad dreams,
Nightmares, yeah.
nightmares, and also like I told you the story about like I saw like an apparition in my
right.
bed, and I don't know like if that was my dream or if that was real, whatever. Anyway, so I slept with my mom for a while as a child, and I
Fair.
remember I was like literally
Me
shaking
too.
going to bed.
I would beg my sister or parents to let me sleep in their room, and
Yeah.
they would say no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd get pissed.
yeah, yeah. They wouldn't say no to me.
Taught
but-
me independence.
They wouldn't say no to me.
But they were upset that I came into the. I am scared.
No, it was a you need to sleep on your own.
They ate you up.
Gasped. Yeah.
Well, anyway, you guys should watch that movie because it's really good.
I had a thought and now I forgot it.
Intrusive thought?
No.
Or regular?
No, a regular
Interesting.
thought, just a topic. I was gonna bring up a topic. What was it? You were talking about the movie.
Texas Chainsaw.
Oh, no. I was gonna ask you, do you believe in the paranormal?
Oh.
Tell me more.
What is that? Do you believe in ghosts? Do you believe in like because
Demons
especially because she was saying she doesn't know if she saw a real apparition
Yeah,
or
like, do
if
you
it was
believe me.
yeah. Do you
Do you
think
believe that I
that's a
saw
thing?
Like, do I believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that almost people don't because it's like confirming the fear is like I don't know.
I feel like no.
You don't believe. We're looking at you like you're joining our
do
cult.
I?
No, I mean whatever.
But then I'm like, I believe in like people's
Spirits?
spirits. So I'm like, is that kind of ghosts?
Yeah.
yeah,
No
I think we
So
just
probably
have
yes.
a horrible
Yes, but no.
a horrible like frame of reference for ghosts. Like when people are like, "Do you believe in ghosts?" It's like you literally imagine
A ghost.
Yeah, like
The ghost
scary
emoji.
movies
Right.
or like the ghost emoji, and it doesn't have to be that. Like it's literally just spirit. It doesn't even have to be something you can see. To me, I don't
That you
think it
can
has to be
see.
something that you see. It
Yeah.
could just be something that's there,
Like a presence
A
or
presence.
like even it making noises or whatever. Like
like demonic possessions.
that's another
Nah.
story.
You don't believe in possessions. You think that's a full psychiatric.
That is such an wait. Let's talk about that.
That's a good one,
because
actually.
that is so interesting to me. I feel like a lot of people who are in like the psychology like
World.
space and
Yeah.
world don't believe in like demonic possessions and exorcisms, and I just think that's so fascinating because I understand like that there's like mental illnesses and disorders and things like that could equate or like explain
why they're reacting.
why they're
or-
reacting and the things that they see or whatever, and then I'm like, but
But how'd they
But
do?
are
but
they
how'd they do their
are they
arms like
actually
that
demons?
though?
but how they twisting?
How they do some unhuman?
Yeah.
Do you
type
guys
behavior.
believe in?
I'm a
demons?
Catholic. I mean, I grew up Catholic. I'm not a
Okay.
Catholic now, but I grew up Catholic. So like, I think it's innate in me.
Yeah.
Kind
to
of
believe
weird that
in
that's
that.
a thing.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
it's so
like,
weird.
Because of religion, you believe in.
I
demonic
believe in
possessions.
demonic
Like, that's
Yeah. What?
Well, because you believe in
I
the
mean, I get
devil,
you,
yeah.
and so it's like
Sure.
it makes sense. But even like now, far
Out of
removed
that,
from
yeah.
that, like
Yeah.
I still believe
yeah.
in that.
And being
But it's that it
possessed
also goes
in your
against my
sleep.
spirituality, which makes no sense. Like
I
it's just
know.
I'm very conflicted, and I think that's why it's so fascinating to me.
It's like, what are the stats on demonic possessions? You know what I mean? Like, why don't we
What-
know anyone?
Right?
Or know anyone who knows anyone who went to school with someone who was possessed or something. You know what I mean?
Where are they?
Like, where are these people? Obviously, I don't want to meet you. Please don't come
Yeah.
through. Please don't.
Have you ever like heard stories about
Just movies, probably,
Yeah.
and like
I've heard
documentaries
stories.
of possessions.
from-
Yeah.
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 What?
Yeah.
In your personal life?
Logan?
Well, not personal to me, but
Yeah.
like
Someone
people in
shared.
like a town, like things like that. Like, yeah.
Like in a documentary type?
No, like-
someone in person told you that was what I'm...
Yeah, like
okay.
basically like my mom's town
Oh.
where she grew up.
See,
like
the
somebody,
folk-
yeah,
the
the
folk
folklore
tale of it all.
the folklore of it all. Yeah.
Fear is crazy.
So maybe we'll be possessed, maybe not.
Oh. The acceptance. And here we are.
Here we are.
We've landed back at acceptance.
No, but it's super interesting.
Yeah. So you didn't answer.
Okay, you can answer me.
Like a yes or no.
Yeah, if you believe in a demonic
It
possession.
could be a
We'll just
maybe.
go with demonic possession.
Yeah, demonic possession specifically.
I don't think I do.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
How would you explain those things? Like, I mean, there's obviously things like schizophrenia and like
Yeah.
things like that, but like and you know what, some people have explained like the body part, the biology part of like why they
contort.
twist and contort, but like what's your thought on
And
that?
also, like, I have heard one story that did make me believe more.
Okay.
I will say that. I don't know
Can
that
you
I
say
can say the story.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But it was a story that my sister's boyfriend told me.
Oh, okay, you gotta
And
tell me off camera because
I will.
No.
But I will say that is the only time where I've thought, like, okay, maybe there
Maybe.
is something going on.
In what way was it like
Like, their body was lifted and no one was lifting it up, and it, like, hit the wall. Okay? So that's
silence.
where I got kind of lost. But I
yeah,
still kinda hold
physics.
true.
You can't deny
You can't
physics
deny
in that
physics.
moment. That's science. Scientists,
Wow.
you can't deny.
Wow.
So,
What?
Okay, we should wrap up soon because we're getting to an hour. But
Yeah.
they're still here.
one more thing to bring up is like we watched Split together. Like obviously it's a movie,
Yeah.
but like DID, it's what's called, right?
Yeah.
One of those things is like a demon that he like
Oh, right.
encounters. So it was bringing like
The
real
horror.
science with like actual like horror, I guess, or paranormal. It's just like
Yeah, I guess I never really
It's
thought
very
about
ex-
it beyond that movie. Like if someone had multiple personalities and one of those personalities wants to
was it-
kill people.
yeah.
Or,
but is that just like evil,
I mean,
like an
but
evil
no.
one, or is it just like
it's hiding something, right? Because all the personalities are protecting you or whatever from something. So that one is protecting from a deep fear of getting
Something.
murdered.
I mean, that's
all.
also like a response of complex trauma, like DID, and that's a whole nother
whole other thing?
topic.
Oh,
That's a long one.
we
but-
can't get into her. As much as we'd love to. Linny, I
Well,
wish
but
you
now I
could
wanna
pass
know
your
the-
education here.
Now I want to know the story you were talking about.
Which one?
The folk tale.
Oh yeah, no, my mom has a lot of spooky stories
Yeah.
from. So there's been, okay, I'll tell you a few.
Give
Alright.
everyone a little. Everyone, turn the lights down.
The demonic possession one, I'm not too like familiar with, but it was like, it was kind of like we knew somebody in the town who that happened to, like, and she was like the same thing, like lifted up from the bed, like things
No,
like
lifting
that.
from the bed is like.
Yeah, and like complete like voice change, like, and why does it almost always happen to women? Also, like, because we're vulnerable, whatever. But
Demons can come inside.
don't come in. But that story I'm not super familiar with. Like, she didn't tell me in depth, but
Yeah.
it did happen. But there was a lot of like witchcraft and stuff happening, which like that's another tea. Like, do you believe that witchcraft can be possible? But she
Silence. She said,
silence.
I'm not gonna say yes
But
or no.
my mom, I guess I would play like hide and seek with her like siblings and like some of people in like the neighborhood or whatever. She like lived in a very like rural place, like literally in the mountains. So they would play hide and seek in the mountains in like the woods. And I guess at one point she was running and she like hid behind a tree and like didn't look like at the tree, and when she touched it, it was like this soft like mush like pillow that like was like it was basically the size of the smear. It was just like body size, but it was she was like describing it as if it was like a dead body, but it wasn't. It was just like it was a weird depiction. And then when she came back to that tree, it was gone. Like,
So she looks at it, touches it, it's
freaks
there,
out, goes and
leaves.
calls somebody, comes back to show
Tree's
them,
gone.
and
It's gone.
not the tree's gone, but the body
thing that
thing,
felt-
like weird things, was gone.
I don't like that.
I don't
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
spooky. And apparently, also there was like this witch in town.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay, story.
Okay, sorry. Different story, but this witch in town who would literally turn
No
into a
treat.
bird.
Huh?
And she would turn
She
into
would turn
a
into a-
bird. And
Is this Halloween Town?
is this she living all over town?
Is this Halloween Town? Hocus Pocus? What is it?
No, but she literally turned into a bird, and they would see her like
Your mom
flying
is
around.
like, I saw her turn into a bird with my own eyes.
My grandpa, her dad.
Was
would
he trying to
see it.
scare him?
I don't think so.
Damn.
And
I'm scared.
yeah, they had a parrot, and I guess like
A parrot.
my mom had a parrot growing up. And it would be really
it
loud
turned
and
into a
talking.
witch?
No, but
That's what
that's
my
what
brain
I'm
was
thinking.
the
going.
witch in town, they believe that the witch in town killed the bird because it was like it that bird would say bad words. It would say bad words out loud, like
As
to
parrots
people.
do.
Yeah, but they would like if people would walk by and like tell everyone's secrets to like to them. Like it was weird. So my grandpa would talk shit about people.
Oh.
The bird would hear it and then he would revert back with what he said. And I guess like one thing was about the witch, and I think the
She
bird
said,
got killed. She said,
Wow.
yeah, the bird was healthy. So
The lore.
Poor bird.
I know. Anyway, spooky things. The
Should've
woods are
kept it speak
scary.
shit. Yep.
So what's the next horror movie we're gonna watch?
It's called like Speak No Evil or something like that.
Oh.
The guy from Split is in it, I think.
Oh. The main one?
Yeah, I
Nice.
believe. I might be wrong.
I'm so behind on movies. Severely.
You still have to watch Hereditary, though.
I know.
Yes.
Did you ever watch Paranormal Activity?
No.
Oh.
Maybe you'll believe in demonic possession a little more.
Those ones are just, they're not like the silly goofy of horror, but they kind of are. 'Cause
They-
there's a lot of comedic, like just kind
Yeah.
of like
There is.
talking.
Also, like, but those movies ate when they first came out. It was
Oh,
like
yeah.
their first of the kind of that specific kind.
Well, like Blair Witch started,
That
was the
trend, yeah.
catalyst for
Yeah.
the like,
Have you seen Blair Witch?
I know.
No, because that one also terrified. Also sat with my cousins in that one.
your cousins
Different,
were-
different
Would
set
I
of
be?
cousins.
Would I be okay?
Yeah.
I think so.
Maybe just like
You
don't
might-
go hiking in the mountains with your
You
friends.
might be scared to go camping.
Okay. Well, I don't camp that much.
Okay.
Okay.
now, so-
Period.
No snakes,
I don't want to
no
give.
camping.
Did you watch the like remake?
Yeah, I think so.
It was not as good, but
Yeah.
it did freak me out, and it doesn't give away a lot. But like in that one, and I don't have this fear.
Oh,
of, like-
great. Share it. Give us fear.
They like were in the woods, and then they got kind of like stuck in a loop of like being in the same place. Like they would walk a mile, and then they
Oh,
would just
yeah.
end up in the same place because it like the witch had like
Boxed them
in.
Yeah.
It was like a very like psychological, and like it wouldn't it would never turn night anymore. Like it was just daytime for like a while,
I forgot about all this. I need to watch the
and
movie
it,
again.
like time just like stopped existing.
That's
Low key
crazy.
want to watch a
Ugh.
scary movie. Like I want to watch like 30 scary movies or 31.
We should make a
for
list.
October or something.
We should make a list.
Let's
And then
make
we,
a list.
it's
One a
like
day.
it's like movie club, but we just watch them whenever.
Yeah, yeah.
And
and
then
then we
text
can
each
handle any anxiety.
Yeah.
Period.
Exposure.
Exposure October.
Period.
Period. Okay, well, we're gonna wrap this up. What was I gonna say?
I don't know.
My brain had a brain fart.
As always.
Thank you
As
for
always, yeah, thank you for being here. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please make sure you either follow our pages on Spotify or Apple, whatever you're listening on. If you haven't already, rate and review this podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Period.
Smash that subscribe.
Smash that subscribe button.
And just let us know your thoughts. What are your fears? What are you thinking
Yeah.
Do you
about?
believe in ghosts?
And do you believe in ghosts?
Let's get spooky.
Yeah, we're gonna see you guys in Glowing Hour. We're gonna lighten up the mood. We're gonna talk about something else with Linny. She'll also be on that one. So tune in to that episode. Yeah, okay, till then.